What the history? Most everyone is familiar with Japan's devastating sneak attack on Pearl Harbor, Hawaii in 1941, which thrust the United States into the World War II Pacific theater. But as deadly and isolated as the Pearl Harbor onslaught was, it was not the only attack on United States territory during the Second Great War, nor was it the only attack to incur casualties. In fact, there was another mission in which the Japanese Navy successfully attacked America, also causing death and destruction, albeit on a much smaller scale. That offensive, known by the Japanese as the Fusen Bakudan, or when translated, the Fire Balloon Campaign, involved the launching of over 9,000 hydrogen balloons armed with incendiary and explosive devices from 1944 to 1945. They were Japanese balloon bombs, and hundreds of them landed across vast swaths of mainland North America, and in the end took the lives of 6 Americans in total. The fire balloons were constructed inside large indoor spaces like theaters, sumo halls, or recording sound stages around Japan. Initially made from rubberized silk, the balloons were later created using a more efficient type of tough Japanese paper known as washi, which was sourced from mulberry bushes. But the pieces of washi paper could only be produced in small, square portions, so they needed to be glued together, and that was achieved using an affordable and edible paste called konnyaku. However, the konnyaku created its own unique problem. Hungry Japanese workers stole the paste to eat as a readily available food source. But eventually, over 9,300 of these balloon weapons would be produced and launched towards North America. The Japanese utilized the jet stream, a rapid eastward current of air that flows above 30,000 feet, to allow the bombs to reach the continental US 5,000 miles away in only 3 days. The balloons were 10 meters wide and could hold up to 10 pounds of TNT explosive, which was triggered by either gunpowder or magnesium and could cause great harm not only to innocent bystanders, but could ignite structure and forest fires in remote areas. Of the 9,000 or so balloons launched, the Japanese expected only 10% to reach America. Yet only 300 have been recovered to this day, so yes, there are likely more out there awaiting discovery. As the first balloon was launched on November 3, 1944, the technical overseer of the Japanese operation, Major Taiki Takada, observed, "The figure of the balloon was visible only for several minutes following its release, until it faded away as a spot in the blue sky like a daytime star." The launch sites were situated along the east coast of the Japanese island of Honshu, and the balloons could be tracked along the way using radio signals that pinged from other small Japanese island outposts in the central Pacific Ocean. Balloon bombs were found all over the western United States. Most of them detonated upon landing, far away from any observers and without major consequence. But not everyone was so fortunate. On May 5, 1945, Archie and Elsie Mitchell were driving 5 of their church's Sunday school students, who were between the ages of 11 and 14, to a picnic area in the Gerhardt Mountain Forest in southern Oregon. They stopped on the way near the town of Bly, and as Archie drove to look for a parking space, Elsie and the children got out to find a spot to eat lunch. They discovered a conspicuously large object on the ground, a downed but still intact fire balloon. What followed were 2 explosions, killing the boys who found it immediately. Elsie died shortly after from the resulting flames as Archie tried to save her. The 6 deaths are the only known casualties by enemy action on the continental United States during World War II. As tragic as the 6 deaths were, it could have been much, much worse had the Japanese been more successful in their initial fire balloon campaign, for they had further plans to arm the bombs not just with explosives, but biological weapons. The Japanese Imperial Army had developed enough anthrax and cowpox virus to infect the entire United States. But the decision to deploy the upgraded weaponry was ultimately rejected by Emperor Hirohito in 1944, mostly due to the lack of damage the first balloon campaign had wreaked. To this day, there is a memorial honoring Elise Mitchell and the 5 children who were killed near Bly, Oregon on that fateful day in May 1945. What the history?